Welcome to everyone. This week video will cover the Dow Jones Industrial Average for the week of September 11th. Before we start, please make sure you read carefully the disclaimer. Let's start with the 10-day cycle. In the last week video, I was expected the 10-day cycle to form between the August 31st and September 1st. We can reasonably label the August 31st as the 10-day cycle. And the next one was expected on September 8th. It is very possible this low occurred on Wednesday, September 6th. On Wednesday, September 6th, the market crossed below his cycle line at 34,697.77 for a potential target at 34,325.33. On the same day, with a low at 34,291, the market met his target. Since the market is below his cycle line, the cycle lines will be used as resistance. Here the resistance line for next week and the potential targets if the Dow Jones Industrial Average cross above it. The success rate for the 10-day cycle is 100%. What's next for this cycle? If the market cross above his cycle line next week, then there is a high probability the September 6th low at 34,291 was the last 10 days low. Otherwise, the low should occur maximum on Monday, then start a rally toward his cycle line. The 20-day cycle. Last week I mentioned the low for this cycle was expected on September 11th. For now the low still expected on Monday 11th, but the September 6th could be the 20 days cycle low. I also mentioned the market should find support on his cycle lines if the market peak occurred on the right side of the cycle. And if the Dow Jones peak on the left side, there is a high probability the market will cross his cycle lines, providing a downside target. The market's still above his cycle line and found support on his cycle line. Since the 20 days cycle price's peak occurred on the left side of the cycle, is still possible Monday the market decline, crossing below his cycle line, providing a downside target. Here the cycle support line for next week and the potential target. If the market cross below Monday, then the rest of the week could be up. If the market move up Monday, then there is a possibility a higher cycle end on August 25th. We will see later which one. The 40 days cycle. As expected in last week update, the market touched his cycle lines and start to decline. On Tuesday, the Dow Jones crossed above the first line, and Wednesday declined, staying between both lines. As reminder, to trigger a valid signal the midpoint price have to cross both cycle lines. Otherwise, the signal is not valid. Today, Friday, September 8th, it looks like the market tried to cross above the both lines. The crossing occurred around 34,521 for a potential upside target at 35,013. If Monday the market confirmed the crossing by moving sharply up, then the option of the August 25th was the 40 days low, and at the same time the 80 days cycle low, have to be considerate. See the previous video. Before to validate the upside target, we need confirmation from the market first, before jumping in any trade. The 80 days cycle. The market don't even come close to the cycle lines and start to decline on Tuesday after the long weekend. This confirming the probability of the 80 days cycle low is still to come, is scheduled around September 16th. Since the 80 days cycle peak occurred very early in the cycle, the price's peak occurred on August 1st, the red line on the chart. When this happening, this is usually a bearish sign. We can expect the Dow Jones to meet his target zone, or at least to meet the top part. If that's the case, then the Dow Jones will cross below his 20-week cycle lines. On the 20-week cycle chart, I placed the 80 days cycle target, to give an idea where is the target compared to the 20-week cycle lines and trend line. If the market missed the target by a good margin, this will be a positive sign for the following trend. The success rate for the 80 days cycle is 100%, meaning the market meet his target each and every time, when a signal was triggered. The option mentioned in the 40 days cycle analysis of the possibility of the 80 days cycle low occurred on August 25th, become more valid by the 40 days cycle line crossing. If this is correct, then the option of the June 25th as the last 80 days, 20 weeks and 40 weeks low will be more plausible. We will have the 100% confirmation when the market will cross above his cycle lines. The 20-week cycles. This week low is very close to the 40-week trend line and his cycle lines. Like I said last week, any crossing below will be bearish for the market. I placed the potential target zone for the 80-day cycle to show where the market will be compared to the 20-week cycle lines if the market meet the 80 days target zone. Why it will be bearish? Because, in this case, the 20-week cycle peak occurred very early in the cycle, the red dashed line. First call that a time translation, and when the time translation happened on the left side of the cycle, is usually a bearish sign. The next 20-week cycle low is expected by the third week of November. The 40-week cycle. On the 40-week cycle we have the same situation than the 20-week. This week low is right on the 40-week trend line. Any crossing below his trend line will confirm the high probability of the 18-month cycle peak occurred with the August high at 35,679. The 18-month cycle. If the August 1st high at 35,679 is the 18-month cycle peak, the red dashed line. This peak formed at the cycle peak. This will be neutral for the next trend until March 2024, date at which this 18-month cycle is scheduled to form a low. Meaning the market could rally and test the August high without making a higher high. Then decline into March 2024. If this month the Dow Jones crossed below his trend line, this will confirm the above statement. In conclusion, the 80-day cycle low is still expected to form around September 16th. But we have to keep in mind the possibility the 80-day cycle already occurred on the August 25th. After forming the 80-day cycle low, the market should rally, crossing above the 40-day cycle lines, providing an upside target. During the next 4 weeks, I will publish a series of videos on introduction to the cycles. This is the end of this week's video. Thank you for following me. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to click on the like button. Subscribe and click on the bell to make sure you don't miss any future videos.